India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. And the announcement? Not from Delhi, not from Islamabad, but from none other than US President Donald Trump on his Truth Social handle. Trump congratulated both countries for reaching an agreement and said missile and drone attacks will now be halted. But what does that even mean? Let's decode the word we keep hearing: ceasefire. A ceasefire is essentially a temporary or permanent pause in fighting. It's like hitting the pause button on war, either to de-escalate, allow humanitarian aid, or create space for peace talks. It doesn't necessarily mean peace, it means let's not shoot, for now. The concept isn't new. In fact, the idea dates all the way back to the Middle Ages, known then as the Truce of God. One of the most famous ceasefires? World War I, Christmas Eve, 1914. British and German soldiers dropped their guns, sang carols, and even played football in no man's land. No peace treaty, no orders, just a spontaneous moment of humanity in the middle of hell. India and Pakistan have had their own long bloody history of conflict, especially over Kashmir. Back in 1949, after the first Indo-Pak war, the UN brokered a ceasefire, which led to the Karachi Agreement, establishing the original ceasefire line, now known as the Line of Control. However, the track record of maintaining a ceasefire between India and Pakistan is poor. Why? That brings us to the big problem. Time and again, Pakistan has broken ceasefire agreements, often within hours. They have been accused of firing across the border using snipers, mortars, even launching terror infiltrations. And while agreements are inked, phone calls are made, and handshakes exchanged, the bullets don't stop. Just a few years ago, there were over 5,000 ceasefire violations in a single year. That's nearly 14 violations a day. Most of these target Indian border villages, civilians, and security forces. India's response has shifted in tone, from restraint to retaliation. So, will this ceasefire hold? That's the million-dollar question. With the US now involved in this round of diplomacy and the situation in the region heating up, both countries may have strong reasons to step back from the brink for now.
I think what we really are seeing is a situation where India and Pakistan felt that they had each gotten their punches in and were worried about escalation and didn't see a huge amount of benefit to continuing the conflict much further. It's possible that this ceasefire will break down. That happens with ceasefires, and that could be the consequence of ground level operations that get out of hand or other miscalculations and so on. But for now, I think the point is that both sides see a benefit to the ceasefire and we're willing to work with external parties to make it happen.
History tells us this: ceasefires are only as strong as the intent behind them. If peace is the goal, it might just work. If it's just to buy time, it's only a matter of when, not if, the guns roar again. So while the ceasefire sounds like a diplomatic win, let's not confuse quiet with calm. The real test, not the signature, but what happens on the ground, at the border. Stay tuned, as the story is far from over. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.